What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Topic of Discussion. This is your host, Miles Berry. Without further introduction, let's get right into it. So, today I want to talk about a couple things, but first, I just want to say that when you're getting closer with God, right, the devil is going to try to kill, steal, and destroy you in so many different ways, right? But when you're kind of into the world and you're being led by your flesh, you don't really feel the devil trying to pull at you, right? Because why does the devil need to pull at something that's already his, right? Um, because I don't know how many people have got distant from God before, but when you get distant and you're moving your way, moving however you want to move, if it's not righteousness, if it's not of God, but at the same time you're moving off your flesh and worldly decisions, you feel some type of way, right? And you might get to the point where you're relaxed. Like you may in the back of your mind know that you're doing wrong, but you don't feel that guilt, right? You don't feel that guilt to like, okay, I need to do better, or that guilt of that was a guilty decision that I did. You know what I'm saying? Like I made that decision, but I feel guilty about it. Like I know there are going to be repercussions to my actions, right? Sometimes we don't reach that point in our life because we start accepting our flesh. We start accepting the wrongdoings with our life. So therefore, it's like, it might be wrong, but I'm okay with the decision that I made. It was a very fleshly decision. It was a very worldly decision, but at the same time, I'm okay with it. So when you're okay with those decisions and that guilt doesn't start to kind of itch at your skin anymore, the devil doesn't test you because you're his now. Your mind is already corrupted. You're already focused on destruction. You're already focused on evil. You may not be an evil person, but the decisions and road that you have taken right now has made you become a I'm not going to say you're an evil person, but you're just distant from God at this time. And your decision making is not the same as it would be if you were following God and you were on his path, right? So the devil is not going to test you. He's not going to try to pull you away because there's nothing to pull you away from. You're already here. You're already exactly where he wants you to be, ready to kill, steal, and destroy. You're being led by your flesh. Your mind is corrupted. Your perspective is evil, right? So it's hard for you to find your peace. It's hard for you to find your sanity in that moment, right? And sometimes, let me say this, you can find your peace and your sanity, but in the mind and eyes of destruction and corruption, right? Right? So once you start to find your peace in that, you start feeling like you're at peace in yourself. And that's when our minds get corrupted. Well, they're already corrupted, but they get more corrupted telling yourself that, hey, look, this is where I'm supposed to be. And you got so distant away from God, you got so distant away from who you are as a person that this is who you feel like you are. Right. So it's not until we go through different things in our life. It might be decisions, it might be just a different chapter in our life that we realize, you know what, this is not where I want to be. Maybe I was at peace, but this peace wasn't for me. This was the wrong piece for me, right? You know what I'm saying? I was trying to put this puzzle piece with my life, and I broke it, and I cut it some to make it fit in my life, but it was never a perfect fit, but I made it fit. So it felt like I was complete, but in actuality, I was never complete. So it's not until sometimes we see life from a different perspective or go down different roads that we feel like, hey, this was the wrong puzzle piece that I put here. That I wasn't never complete. So let me remove this, right? So when we remove that, our perspective of the world, we start to see a different perspective. We start to see a different route that we can take. We start to see people in a different light, right? So as we go down this path and we go down this, seeing people down a different light, we start to realize I wasn't living my life right, right? So once you start, and maybe you want to get a closer relationship with God. Again, I always say, because I never try to force a relationship or force spirituality on people. I want you to be whoever you are, whatever you believe in. I don't feel like that's my job, but my job is to speak my life and the things that I've gone through. And if it moves you in a direction, then it moves you. And it doesn't, it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? This is for people that want to hear this, and this is for people that want to receive the wisdom and receive the things that I've gone through. So maybe they don't have to go down that path. I already did it. So why feel pain if you don't have to? Why feel pain if somebody already felt it for you and they're saying, hey, I'm trying to help you out. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing I had to do. And I learned my lesson. So now when people are trying to direct my path for me, and I'm not saying directly like, oh, you got to take this step, but they're saying, look, I've been down this road and this is the type of pain that I felt. And I'm not telling you don't go down this road. I'm telling you what I had to learn from going down this road. And now you make that decision if you want to go down that road or not. That's totally up to you. And the same thing with me giving you guys this information. I'm not forcing a relationship with God on you. I want you to have a relationship with God, but at the same time, I'm not forcing that on you. So that's totally up to you what you do. But I can only tell you about the things that I've gone through. So going back to what I said, once you start to change your perspective and you get that relationship with God, now you're gonna feel guilty when you're making those decisions that you were making. You're gonna feel unease when you start making those decisions. You're not gonna feel it's not gonna feel good when you're doing people wrong. Like you're gonna feel guilty now for doing people wrong. You're gonna feel guilty for making those wrong decisions because when you know better, you do better. So since you knew better on the decision that you made, you should have did better. So therefore, you're gonna feel that guilt, right? Because once you start to have that relationship with God, God doesn't like you to play with Him. If you're gonna give your life to Him, give your life to Him. He understands that it's not just gonna be 0 to 100. You're with Him, but at the same time, He understands the process. But He understands also when you're playing with Him, and God doesn't want you to play with Him, right? 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 We have a jealous God, and He wants you all for Him, right? So therefore, when you decide to seek that relationship with Him, don't give up because things get difficult. Don't give up because you're starting to feel guilty now for the things that you were doing before in your life. Don't feel bad about the decisions that you're making when you know you're making a better decision. You know what I'm saying? We have to go through things in life, and that this is part of life, going through things so you can get better. And sometimes that comes with age, that comes with maturity. And I don't really put age on people because I feel like they're young people that experience more than older people. I'm not saying that in all areas, but there are some young people that been through so much in their life. There's some older people that haven't even experienced nothing along those lines, and it's just because of the predicaments that they've been in. So it's hard to put age on maturity. You're mature whenever you're mature in the things that you have gone through and the wisdom that you have been able to receive from the things that you've gone through, right? So therefore, as we grow through life, I want us to start paying attention to the decisions that we're making. And once we start to go in the direction that God wants us to go in, be able to put your pride to the side and live your life accordingly. And be able to put your pride to the side for the betterment of your life. Right? Because we're gonna have to put our pride to the side, and that comes with desires, that comes with relationships that we feel like we should have been in, rekindle, decisions that we could have made that we did not make. It comes with all of that, and sometimes you got to put your pride to the side because you have the desire, and your flesh wants it so bad. Like you want it so bad, but you have to be able to put that pride to the side and say, you know what? I know what's best for me, and I know what I want. I know what's best for me, and I know what I want. So I have to take my pride away from what I want and put the wisdom and knowledge that I learned over the years and what I need. Right? Right? And that's what's best for me, what I need, not what I want. And you can always get what you want later, but you need to focus on what you need now. Because what you need might help you get the things that you want. But if you're still focused on the things that you want, it's going to be hard to get the things that you need because your mind is in the wrong place. Right? So I'm not trying to be too long today. Just something to think about. But when you change your life for the better, remember, don't take a baby step. Don't just put your pinky toe in and feeling like, all right, I'm taking a step. Put your whole foot in. And once you make that decision, stand on it. Stand on it. You can't stand on your pinky toe. That's not your foot. Put your foot in. And once you put your foot in, start taking steps. Left, right, left, right. Take those steps to a better life. Put your pride to the side. Put that pain to the side and start taking steps to a better life for you. All right. Again, this has been Topic of Discussion. Miles Berry. We out.